Hi there, welcome to week 4, even though we're now in week 5 of the Show Me the Money weekly review. And of course, as always, I'm joined by Craig. We're both in our game day gear.
Good evening, everyone. Or good morning, I should say, everyone. Yes, it's morning this time, isn't it?
It's good morning this time, yes. I'm off next Sunday too, so a rare Sunday I'll get to enjoy the afternoon game. Maybe not enjoy our matchups, but we'll see that one soon enough. So we'll go on to week 4, and start off with our only undefeated team. Well, I wonder who that is.
Let's, before we start, I think we should review the fact that there is only one 4-0 team in the whole of Show Me the Money at this moment in time. Yes, and that one 4-0 team happens to be Show Me the Packers. Another wonderful victory this week. I mean, my guys are really starting to fire now, Johnny, aren't they? It's, Love's not doing much, but he's scoring okay. He's scoring fine. Jacobs finally showed up. A-Chan looks like he's a thing. DJ Moore's looking fantastic now. And yeah, I'm quite comfortable with where I am. I've got Jonathan Taylor back off PUP this week, and he's signed a contract, so he's going to be playing properly.
Yeah, it looks like Barkley's not playing, but obviously you've got Jonathan Taylor, so you can't really argue with that one.
Yeah, it's that's one. But yeah, I mean this week's game, I've never felt pressure. I never felt under any pressure really at all in this week's game. I've got to say, I fancied it from the get-go. Graham's just, without Eckler, he's struggling. There's no getting away from it. If you look at, he left Waddle on the bench. That was a big call.
Yeah, no, but it wouldn't have been much of a difference in the end because obviously Addison did nothing. But
leaving Waddle on the bench was a big call. I thought. I mean, you're picking Waddle up very early. It's if he's playing, you play him. I would have thought, but yeah, left him on the bench and he only got 4.6 points. So decision proved fruitful. If not, it wouldn't have made any difference. But not a bad decision in the end.
No, well, that's the thing. He's got Puka, but then Cup's back.
Yeah, I think Cutback's only going to help Puka, to be honest with you, because Cup will then get all the attention.
I think they both got a lot of targets this weekend against that Eagles secondary, to be honest.
I agree. I do. I think they will, and I don't think playing Tuta Atwell's out of the question either, or indeed Higby. I think they'll all get some action this week against that Philly.
Because they're a good run. They're a good run defense, but their pass defense has been pretty. Well, not as obviously bad as ours, but it's not been great.
And I know Stafford's not been doing very well as a fantasy quarterback, but he's been doing very well as an NFL quarterback,
Definitely.
So, I'm sure he's got some points in him coming soon. Testament to the fact that I've brought him in for next week when Love's on his bye week, but that's a conversation for later. But yeah, so Graham got it doing. He's 0-4 now. There are only 2 0-4 teams, and it's a long old season for Graham, I would say, for the rest of the year.
Actually, yeah. But then, of course, the other 0-4 team, we'll get to that one because that one shouldn't be 0-4, but
yes,
for later on in the show. So we'll go on to the boys are back in town,
and
scraping one against Doug there. That's a bit of
Doug's still going to be upset about this one because he had Montgomery in there and he had Montgomery going very well very early.
And he was very happy about that on Friday morning. Yes,
he was heading into Sunday thinking, I've got this in the bank already. Much like he's trying to pop off onto me that I've got this week's in the bank already, and I know that is nowhere near true. But he went into Sunday thinking, I've got this one with 32 points from Montgomery. And Ross's boys are back in town, came back and gave him an absolute bloody nose. And I have to say congratulations to the South Division. All 3 of you beating all 3 of the other North Division teams means that I have
you. Yes.
3-game gap at the top in the North.
You could have saved that for 2 more games and then thanked them all because obviously, well, everybody will know the scores anyway. But
exactly.
But because crazy enough, the difference is Donovan's People Jones and Taji Spears.
Well, I mean, the difference here really.
No quarterback, to be honest, but yeah.
I mean, you've got the Cowboys' defense coming out and shooting, scoring 27. That's that was massive for boys, and they're coming back. Andrews has finally showed up. I think Ross will be sitting looking at Deebo Samuel, thinking, "Oh, it's all about McCaffrey and Ayuk this year." Oh, but it's not a panic. I don't think. I think Samuel will get his touches.
Well, Samuel was limited to going into that game, so Ken Last week you thought he wasn't going to play, but he did play. But he'll get his touches.
And he done, he played and he just didn't get his touches. But I mean, Swift and Cook is, Cook fine, but I just can't. I think as the season goes on, Swift's going to lose more and more and more touches to Gainwell. In fact, I think the only reason he's getting the touches right now is because Gainwell was injured in week 2. Otherwise, I don't think Swift would be anywhere near, but that's what happens and that's how the game goes.
Well, he's took his chances and he's still running hard, but like I say, he doesn't stay fit either. So
he has, and you got to take your hat off to Ross and say, well done, because leaving Burrow on the bench is not an easy thing to do either, but obviously it was a game winner here.
It was, yeah, big stuff.
And as for Doug, Kelsey needs to show up for him. Kelsey's his superstar. What's Kelsey doing? He's too busy pumping.
Too busy playing with Swift. Yeah.
Too busy pumping Swift to worry about Doug's fantasy team, unfortunately, this season.
If only Doug had Swift, he'd have Kelsey and Swift in the same team. It might be better.
But I mean, for me, Doug's a bit too Lion heavy now, and I know the Lions are doing well, and I know they'll score well in fantasy football. But he's got Goff, he's got Montgomery, and he's got Wilson coming back off IR now. So, and his ban was down to 4 games, so he's available this week. So it'll be interesting to see if Doug brings him right in. I mean, Hollywood's done well, and he's a target at Arizona, So you don't drop him, you don't drop AJ Brown. So the big question is, does he bring him in? Peoples-Jones, Spears, Hill, Parker, Murray, all could fit into the flex, but I think he'll go with Wilson. And Smith and Jemba, he's just been such a disappointment, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. It's a bit because in the pre-season he looked good. He looked really good. But
and it's
they were tipped up to be the number 1 by the end of the year, but it's not looking like it at the moment.
No, I mean that was never going to happen, Johnny. You've got 2 top class receivers there, and Lockett and Metcalf, and he's always going to be the third there. But the third can get business there, that's the thing. They just haven't yet. They're running the ball a lot more, Seattle. But I do think Smith and Jigba will come into his game as the season goes on, and he'll have his weeks. It's just a waiting game there for Doug, I think.
Well, that's the thing. They're running the ball well. That's the thing. They've got 2 running backs. Yeah. But yeah,
not looking good for Earl Douglas, and looking very good for Ross at 3-1. He'll be looking to push on from that, I'm sure, and make a challenge. But there are, as we're about to see, 3 3-1 teams in the south, thanks to the destruction of the north this weekend.
Yeah, there you go. There's the next one. We've got the Blue Team Patriots 125 and 50 to 95-44. So a good score by Sean, but just not good enough.
Not good enough. Yeah, I mean, Sean, you can't lose any sleep over 95 points. That will win a lot of weeks.
It won a lot of games last week. Yeah, it would have won probably over half of them. But he's got Williams back from suspension this week, so he might make it. He does. Especially Amon-Ra St. Brown out.
Yes, so St. Brown's out. So, and it looks like not Khalif Raymond, the other Raymond is looking dodgy as well, So they are down at the bare bones at wide receiver. So that will be a welcome return for him. And I think he'll get more action this week than he would have done had all of these guys been playing as well.
Yeah, because Gibbs is out as well, unfortunately.
But yeah, I mean, so for Sean, if we look at Sean, I mean, Kirk Cousins didn't show up this week after the weeks he's been having. But Henry's back. Chase will do better. Komet's now rolling. Jaguars defense, 20 good week, but it's but if you look at his bench and
your kicker.
Dicker the kicker, don't forget Dicker the kicker.
Yep. So the bench is thin.
The bench is thin, isn't it? And it's 95 points is a good score, but it's not a winning score. And at 1-3, Sean's going to need to start winning games at 95 points, if he's going to get back into it. The North's not looking strong at the moment, apart from one team. But as for Chris, well, I mean, he's making another challenge, isn't he? Would I be right in saying that Chris was the kind of 50-50 winner last year, but we gave it to Joe because Joe was winning the final at the time that it cut off? But Chris won the year before, didn't he?
Chris would have been the first back-to-back, but I think
but
Chris basically said, yeah, give it to Joe, because for the players that was out for Joe, he would have won the game. Well, Joe Burrow and all that. So
this is year 3.
But he was leading, I think. But
This
But
is
the
year
players,
3 for Chris now, being right up there and right challenging. And if you look at his team that he's got there, Richardson's flying. Pollard and Ford are going to be just fine. Jefferson and
Laporta,
Collins at receiver is massive. Laporta is going to get better and better as the season goes on, and he has shown to be a top-class tight end. Kelly, okay, look, that dice hasn't worked, but we'll get to the bench in a second. McManus in the Bills defense. I mean, that's solid as a rock. And then when you look into the bench, he's got Zay Jones to come back, and Zay Jones has his weeks. He's not good every week, but he has his weeks.
Watson,
Christian Watson and Mims and Bigsby. Tank will get better as the year goes on as well. Tank will only get better. Mims in his rookie year doing fine. Watson's now back fit and playing. Chris is one to look out for again.
definitely.
You really
be interesting when you play each other. That'll be a good one. But yeah,
that is this week, my friend. That is this week.
Is that? Oh, it's usually. Oh, I thought it was even better.
We are playing each other this week. So yeah, so that's massive. And if we just have a quick look at the last game here before we look at this week's fixtures, we have Varsity Blues again. What's happening, Grotty, man? You had all the picks and we're all there for you. What have you done?
Williams got off injured, did he not? Which doesn't really help because running backs are
No, Jamal, Williams did go off, but it does look like he's going to play this week. It doesn't look like it was only a silly hip thing, and it looks like he's fine for this week, which is good news for Grotty, obviously, you know. And I mean, Ridley, Walk. I mean, if you look at the team, look through that first team, and there's nothing there that says no, you know.
Yeah.
Musgrave went off with a concussion as well, but he's back again this week also. Is it Garrett Wilson there on the bench who's going to have better weeks? And he's unfortunate that he lost Rodgers so early. You know, that's unfortunate for Grotty.
Yeah, that killed that one a bit.
Pull in a couple, you know. Pitts is rubbish. Are we all in agreement that Pitts at Atlanta just isn't even... I mean, he should be on agency now, if you ask me.
I still can't bring myself to drop him, though. But yeah,
I hear you, Connie. I hear you because he's a stud. But they're just not using him.
No.
They're just not using him. And Dylan is a waste of space now. I would have Dylan in agency as well now. Dylan's bugging my brain, so he is, so to speak.
But then is Jones playing this week? That's the thing. I don't know if it's still questionable if he's going to play. But
even if he doesn't, Johnny, Dylan is terrible. I mean, he's played without Jones and not done anything. He seems to have lost a beat between this season and last season. He seems to have lost something, which isn't good, you know. But obviously, Zach Moss here's a problem for Grotty now that Taylor's back. JT's back. But I mean, he's got plenty of options there. And I know 1 and 3 is not good, but have the faith, Grotty. You do have a good squad. You really do. Just have the faith and wins will start pouring. As for Alan, well, Alan's flying everywhere now, isn't he? Alan's taking a...
Yeah, I saw Alan in Tesco's yesterday and he was speaking very confident.
I'll bet you he was. And why wouldn't he be? And here we go again. He has dropped Stafford this week because I've picked him up. So Stafford's gone. I don't know who he picked up for him. But yeah, I mean, even on the bench here, he's got Henry, who's going to have his weeks. He's got Herbert, who's doing just fine. And, you know, doesn't seem to be losing the touches to Johnson at the moment. And then you've got Elijah Moore, who, you know, apart from running, he'll have better weeks as well. You know, he's not going to have minus 20 running yards every week.
No.
And Williams in there. That's if he stays fit, he's absolute bell cow in LA now and running very well. Lamb will do well. Flowers will do well. Waller will have his weeks. I'm sorry, but Waller will have his weeks.
But Alan dropped Matthew Stafford for Joshua Dobbs.
For Joshua Dobbs, right? So he's brought
Which is
Dobbs
not a bad one, actually. So that'll be for this week.
Well, it is for this week because Herbert's on his bye week this week. So yeah, that's a big call for this week. And I'll tell you who else I think is going to have their breakout week this week, and that is Breece Hall against that awful Denver defense.
Well, they've already told him they're going to be giving him more of the ball, so they have to.
I think he'll have a breakout week this week. So yeah, I mean, Allen's looking strong as an ox. He really is. Flying, and I like the team, and at 3-1 as well. The problem he's got is everyone's 3-1 in the south apart from Graham, who's he's
we'll get to that one
this year, really, to be honest.
It's no great, but yeah, is that the fourth one?
Yeah, that's the fourth one. That's the south and the so At the moment, in the North Division, myself, Show Me the Packers, 4-0, and then you've got in Backs We Trust, Show Me the Money, the Factory of Sadness, and Varsity Blues Changed My Life are all sitting in 1 and 3. So I have a 3-game win at the top.
And there's only about 20 points, if that, between the top scoring. But Factory of Sadness have nearly conceded 400 points, which is a bit unlucky.
Yes, that's a tad unlucky, but they're almost 100 points behind the top already, so that's not going great for them.
And 3 wins in your division is a good one for the head-to-head. But yeah, then whereas obviously the South,
the South is absolutely all to play for. I mean, Graham's 3 behind right now, and here's the thing, right? See if there's any hope for Sean, Doug, and Grote, then there's hope for Graham because they're all 3 behind, and Graham's only 3 behind. The biggest problem Graham's got is 292 points for so far.
Yeah, he has 387 against, which is a bit unlucky. But then Bluetooth
but
Patriots
you've only scored 292. You're not going to be winning many games. But
he will have to win his last 3 games. But even then, that might not be enough when it comes to the head-to-heads.
But I mean, Kirkwall Raiders boys are back in town, and Bluetooth Patriots are all looking exceedingly strong this year. They're all in the same division, which is unfortunate for them. But that was like your division last year, though, so it goes around. So. It goes in roundabouts. It was the North last year. It looks like the South is going to be the one this year that has everyone flying. And the North and South are going along. I mean, for me, I'm going along great guns, and then the 3 of them in the South are all going great guns. So lots and lots and lots to play for. This week, I play Chris. I play the Bluetooth Patriots, so it's a massive week. And I'm off to a flyer already. I've got DJ Moore starting. So I'm on 41 points after Thursday night's games. My big decision this week, I'm actually humming and hawing over the play love, or will I just stick Stafford in against that Philly defence? It's I'm humming and hawing over that, and obviously Barkley. It's between Barkley and Taylor. That's my choices for this week.
At least you'll do about 5:30. But it did say this. I did see this morning that it said it's more than likely that Barkley won't be playing today.
Yeah, I don't think, and even if he does play, I think he'll be on a hefty snap count whereby I'm going to take him out. But then I might play Sutton over. I might play Sutton over Taylor as well, because I'm not convinced Taylor's going to get all that much this week either. But yeah, it's a tough week for Chris this week because he's got Mayfield's on his bye, Ford's on his bye, Kelly's on his bye, Zay Jones is he back or is he not? And then he's got Watson still sitting on the bench with an option to come in.
Well, your prediction's looking pretty good.
But
it means nothing, but yeah, it's a
But I mean, he's having to play Bigsby, which is a thing, He's having to play Bigsby because he's got Ford out, and Bigsby's just not there yet, So that's where my kind of hope lies. My 41-point start, and the fact that he's got Bigsby in makes me think that I've got a chance of winning this week.
Then we've got Doug's playing against Alan, so
yes, Doug's playing.
Joshua Dobson,
1 and 3. 1 and 3 in backs we trust playing the 3-1 Kirkwall Packers. So by the numbers, Alan should be favourite, but he has left Herbert in his flex, and he's only gotten 7.6 points.
Yeah, he got off in the third quarter.
I would say.
Yeah,
but Doug's
taking it loss.
Doug's went hefty on the old Arizona Cardinals wide receiver, and he's pretty much locked them both down because he's got Brown and Wilson, and he's starting both apparently.
Well, he's going to get points of them because if Dobbs throws a touchdown, it's probably going to go to those two.
And but he's picking up Allen at the right time with Herbert on his bye week, and he's got Herbert and Johnson on bye. Zach Moss obviously fallen now that Taylor's back. So yeah, I mean this should be a close one again, and it's not to say that Doug won't win this one. Doug's got every chance of winning this one. Elsewhere, Graham known for trying to get off the mark. He's up against the Factory of Sadness.
Well, Sean has had 2 players. Obviously, he got Komet with 10 points, but he had Johnson.
He had Johnson starting with 1.9, so that's got
maybe there's a door open.
The door is open a little bit there, isn't it? Elijah Mitchell's definitely out. That's not that it would be much anyway. He's got Perrine and Downs and Moore and Williams all on the bench here, all ready to come on if he so desires, but he's not bringing them in at the moment. And Graham's got Lockett on bye week, which hurts him, and he's got Eckler obviously injured there on bye week, which really hurts him. But he's got Waddle back in there for this week, which is the right move, I would say.
Especially against the Giants.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's
again another close game, another tight game projected wise as well, and a chance for Graham to go off the mark. And finally, we've got the boys are back in town playing against Varsity Blues. Surely to goodness, Groty's got one coming up. Groty's due one.
Joe Burrow's back in the team.
I'm not convinced because he's got Dillon sitting in there, and that's a problem for me. He's got Walker and Charbonnet. He's got them both. He's got them handcuffed, and they're both on bye week, so that's hard for him this week. But yeah.
Well, he certainly has to play Williams, even though he might play, but might not. But Jets defense is pretty good.
Yeah, well, he's out of options here, isn't he? Because Charbonnet and Walker, his other two, so he is playing him. But I do believe that he's playing. I do believe that he's fit to play. But how far he'll get against that Jets defense is another question entirely.
Obviously, you got Andrews against the Steelers defense. Edwards. He's always got a couple against each other, Edwards and Andrews.
I mean, Boy's a favourite for the game for sure, but that's just circumstances, you know. You get Walker in there for Groty, and that would change over Dillon. That would change that in a heartbeat. And of course, Ross has jumped back to Burrow over Purdy this week. Purdy playing against the Dallas. Dallas. I can see that, and Burrow's got Arizona, so yeah, I think that's a good call as well. But you know, time will tell, and this is the problem you've got when you've got the two quarterbacks.
Plus, Arizona's been a bit frisky as well, and Burrow's still not. I don't know how fit he really is because he's not playing like he's fit.
No, he's not, and he's not. He's definitely not. But I mean, and
that's on the bench.
This is your two quarterbacks problem. You know, now I've got two quarterbacks sitting in my team right now. I've brought in Matthew Stafford, as I said this week, but I've brought in Matthew Stafford because Love's on his bye week next week, so it's for next week, and then he'll be getting tossed straight back out again because I don't want that headache week on week. You know. So yeah, that's the North and the South, and both looking very, very different at the moment in the sense of you know, the South everyone's winning and the North everyone's losing. So interesting to see how those games go this week.
And of course, on to the East v West,
so the East v West
4 team.
When you look at
the bench,
when you look at poor Sean losing with 95 points, and then you jump onto here and you see Tartan Bears winning with 95.78. 3-1 for our defending champs. Great start for Joe. Not so great with the scoring, 59.78. But the scoring doesn't matter. You only need to beat the team you're playing. And Sean, here is your problem. Here is your problem with Tua and Joe Allen. Need I say more?
It's just it's a sore one. That is so sore.
You know, you can easily.
Joe's laughing his head off. He's loving it, but Sean, come on, man.
I mean, you can't leave Joe Allen on your bench. You just cannot draft Joe Allen where you drafted Joe Allen. In fact, he was a keeper.
He was a keeper, I think. Him and Madison, was it not?
And he's on his bench. So yeah, I mean, it's 0-4. It's a long way for Sean, 59 points, but it's not like he's completely dead. You know, Keenan Allen's going really well. Cooks will have better weeks. White's bell cow. Madison's doing okay. He's doing fine. He's got Akers there now, which is a problem, but he's doing fine. And his quarterback position is, good. You know, it's unattainable in the sense of what one do you play and what one do you not. Bucks will have better weeks. Boyd's going to be active this week with Higgins out. Elliott's going to have better weeks. Woods is going to have better weeks than that.
Breeder might be the running back again this week if Mark is out. So he'll get.
Well, he will be this week if Barkley's out. That's for sure. And
look at Joe though.
And then when you flip over to Joe, right? So he's got St. Brown there, who's not playing this week. That's a problem. But he's got Cleve Raymond to fit right in, and Cleve Raymond looks like he's going to be the number one. He's got Cooper Kupp coming back off that IR, which is massive. You know. So yeah, things are looking good for Joe. I know 59 points isn't brilliant, but he's 3-1. And as the defending champion, you take the wins. You don't care. You don't care how pretty they are. You take the wins when they come along, you know.
Definitely.
So yeah, things looking very good for Joe and Tartan Bears.
They certainly are. So on to the next one. That'll be Scheme Team getting a good win against Batman's Boobies.
Yep. So here after the week 1 win, we were thinking it was going to be the year of the boobies, and once again, it's kind of fallen off a little bit. He was unlucky to lose Watson so late this week, and that could have made a big difference. Having to play O'Connell, just it was a dice throw, wasn't it? It's give him a go and see what happens. It didn't work.
I think he's actually due to beat me this week, but that's a different story because he's picked up
who's he picked
what's
up?
his name? The quarterback, Garoppolo.
Oh, he's picked up Jimmy, has he? Jimmy G. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to run the ball to death this week, though, because the Packers cannot defend the run. It's still the Packers cannot defend the run. But, I mean, yeah, so he's got Myers there. Myers will do better than that. In fact, you notice he's got two. He's got Jay Myers and Jay Myers.
Myers. Yeah, Myers and Myers, yes. But he's got Reed. Reed will do better as well. Reed's good.
Reed will do just fine. He'll be the number 3 there and get plenty of touches. Schultz will have his weeks for sure, yeah. Stevenson will have better weeks than that. And McCaffrey can take you to wins on his own,
Well,
he was unfortunate the Dolphins D scored them minus points this week, and his kicker didn't really overly do much. And Cooper got hit by Watson being out, But there's better weeks ahead for Ray for sure, that's not terrible. As for Allen, well, he's got Carr there on the bench, but it didn't make any difference because Jackson's his man and Jackson's his quarterback.
Yeah, and Diggs is his wide receiver.
Diggs is going great guns. I actually tried to trade for Diggs in the Hockney Bowl this week. I offered up Barkley for Diggs, but the boy refused me. Wasn't happy.
Worth a try. There's been 2 more drafts in the last 2 days in the Hockney Bowl.
I've got bigger cover at running back, so I thought I could lose Barkley, but I've got Higgins at receiver, which is T. Higgins, which is bothering me. So I thought I'd go after Diggs, but yeah, didn't work. Anyway, back to Allen's team, back to Allen's scheme team. They're 2-2, not terrible. 112 points. Let's not forget as well. That must be one of the top scores of the week.
I think it probably may be the 3rd highest score.
Yeah, something like that, because I know I battered out a few a decent 100-point score, but yeah, anyone scoring 100 over 100 this week was massive. It really was. It wasn't the biggest scoring of weeks, and he's got Higbee on the bench, he's got Kirk on the bench, he's got Lazard on the bench. So I'll always, to look at the strength of a team, I like to look at a bench, and I don't hate his bench there. Who's it? Jay Williams? He's got an IR.
That much is it? Maybe Jamal Williams.
That can't be. Can't be surely. Let me just go and find that out. Scheme team. There you are. There. It is Jamal Williams. It is. So yeah,
he'll be back at some point.
Oh yeah, he's back this week.
Well, you got Kamara there. So.
Oh no, it's not. It's Jamal Williams. It's Jamal Williams, New England. It's New England's Williams. Yeah, sorry.
That's New Orleans.
That's New Orleans, sorry. Yeah, that's a throwaway. But yeah, he's got, Harris. So I still like Najee. I know that he's not flying the way he should be, but
I think he's dealing with an injury as well.
Getting a bit. I'm a big fan of Pickens too, but Josh Reynolds is looking hot this week. He's got Hayden Hurst. Surely not playing Hayden Hurst this week. Surely this week he's playing Higbee.
He's got
But yeah, I mean, it's 2-2. The only 2-2, by the way, and show me the money. After 4 weeks, Allen is the only 500.
That's crazy,
Isn't it just? But yeah, going along just fine there at the moment. Good win to get to 2-2, and with 2 teams in the division and 3-1, and Allen in 2-2, he's right there. And Sean's not dead in it, but in the West, but yeah, 2-2, only 1 behind, and started well. And here we go, coping badly, Jets again. How many times is this team going to look utter garbage and go really well? Mark has a knack for it, I'm telling you. I don't know what it is. He's got
a regular season champion, best record, getting 45 points. That's not going to happen again.
Well, when it all goes, it really goes, doesn't it?
It does. He usually saves up for the playoffs, so not just for the hangman.
But when you lose your O, it tends to go. But I mean, come on, look at what he's got there, though. Look at what he's got, Johnny.
I know,
Hill had a bad week. Olave had a bad week due to the fact that his quarterback couldn't throw the ball further than 10 yards.
Hawkinson had a bad week.
Hawkinson had a bad week.
I think.
Connor had a bad week because they had to go to the air from the get-go. Because
Miami had a bad week, so Sanders only had 2 extra points.
And it's, Mixon had a bad week again. Etienne had a bad week. All of these guys, Smith, even Gino had a bad week. All of these guys are going to have good weeks. And then on the bench, you've got Brian Robinson, you've got Judy, and you've got Hopkins, and you've got Stroud. So
yeah.
I think Michael will be just fine, I'm still calling him favourite at the moment with that squad. And as for Mark, well, I mean, how does he keep doing? He always plays his best team. He always starts his best players. I mean, okay, could have started the Vikings D over the Bucks D, and that would have been a bit better. But
and Dotson over Shaheed. But yeah, apart from that, no, it's
there's never any big numbers. There's never any big differences on Mark's bench. He always manages to pick the right team.
He's only got 2 running backs.
I mean, he's got Dalvin Cook. Is Dalvin Cook going to come, or is he not? Is he joining the party? It's again losing Rodgers was a big thing for that, I think, and obviously Hall's always been there, always going to be there. But I do think Cook will have his time. Brian Robinson's running it to death. Metcalf will have much better weeks. Metcalf's a stud. Gabe Davies as well is going well, and Zach Ertz is going to have some good weeks. He's obviously a target for the Cardinals at the moment, and until Murray comes back, I think he's going to get more and more involved. So yeah, it's not a disaster for Mark, and I can see he's now sitting at 3-1. I think he's waiting on Kelsey having a good game, and then he's going to be knocking on Doug's door. And I very much see Kelsey joining Copen Badley Jets before the end of this season.
Yeah, probably.
It's So I mean, Mark's flying, Michael's flying. 2 teams that are going along really, really well, and 2 teams that will be looking to make the playoffs. Let's not forget, the playoffs. Week 4 it's week 14 weeks we play, isn't it? Is it 13 weeks?
Yeah, 14 weeks, I think it is.
14. Yeah, 14 weeks.
Yeah, now you got 3 weeks of playoffs. Yeah.
So we're nearly a third of the way through the season now. It's crazy that we're nearly a third of the way through the season, and after last week we'll be more than a third of the way through the season. But good starts for both, and both must surely be looking towards playoffs now.
Yes. Well, it's going to be a tough one because obviously with all the teams that are 3-1 in the.
Oh yeah, I mean it's far from there, but both will be having eyes on getting there. Whereas the likes of Farts Flying Eagles and Graham and Farts Flying Eagles, he's going to be looking at 1-3, and 95 points isn't a disaster, but it's a different mindset for Graham as it is to yourself being 3-1, Johnny. From the difference between winning this game and losing this game is the mindset. Your mindset is now, I have a good shout at the playoffs. Graham's mindset is, I've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Obviously, Kamara came back, but obviously, luckily, it's not PPR.
Well, I mean, yeah.
He did get a stupid amount of points for his 13 cats. The cats were 33 yards.
It's not PPR, but Kamara's still going to have a very good year. I mean, I know Carr was hurt and that, but everything goes through Kamara. He came back and he hadn't lost a beat.
Everything it's going to be great. Let's say Gamer will get more.
Yes, he will.
Adams will do better when he gets Jimmy G back.
100%.
He still got 75 yards off O'Connell, who was almost as bad as Jones, but not quite.
Yeah, absolutely. And
McLaurin had a good game, but then that also helped just because he recovered a fumble in the end zone.
And Thielen is very much the
number one,
the number one pick safety net, and that's where he's going a lot. So he's getting a lot of touches again.
He picked the perfect team.
Graham gets hurt here by Thielen, by this not being PPR.
Yeah.
Because Thielen gets a lot of catches for not a lot of yards, so he gets hurt by it not being PPR. But I mean, the Seahawks have won this for you, Johnny, haven't they?
Oh yeah, as soon as that touchdown went in, that's the first time I think I went in the lead.
Well, yeah, so it's
but Michenko had a good game. I mean, Aaron Jones, he was disappointing obviously the first night, wasn't it? Higgins going out injured, that well didn't really do much, but
yeah.
Brian was going injured early on, so
again as well.
Wilson playing well, Pacheco, well, not playing well, but got enough points. Ayuk for a couple of that, especially that 43-yard catch.
Yeah, that was a peach.
And the Seahawks defense. It was a nice pickup with the Seahawks defense because I just knew they would do well. Because the offensive line for the Giants is fucking awful.
Yeah, you're forced into Goddard now, though. That's
yeah, but he's been getting more and more targets, so you never know. He might get more and more in it, like, but
yeah, absolutely.
Playing. Who did I pick somebody up this year? I can't remember. I think I did.
There's certainly Daniel Jones is a problem for you. That's you're going to need to be starting Wilson for the foreseeable, I would say.
Actually, no, I'm starting Jones today.
Are you starting Jones today? Well, they are playing Miami, aren't they? I guess, and
Wilson's playing against the Jets, so I think you might get killed against the Jets. I picked up Wan'Dale Robinson. So he's
Wan'Dale Robinson. Oh yeah, that's a great pickup. I like that pickup massively. It's I think he's going to just get better and better as the season goes on. But yeah, a good 100-point score as well. 100 plus, Johnny. Well done. And Graham's 95.30. As we say, would have won a lot of games this week, and he's unfortunate that he's ran into a ton plus. But yet, East and West were better shared out than the North and South were, and the East now have Copen Badley Jets and Tartan Bears on 3-1 apiece. And they have Batman's Boobies and Farts Flying Eagles on 1-3 apiece. So a gap that's a gap that Batman's Boobies and Farts Flying Eagles will be wanting to close. And in the West, you've got yourself and Michael on 3-1, Levy on the Prayer Madhouse G-Men on 3-1, Scheme Team fitting in third at 2-2, and Eskimo Brothers down there at 0-4. Only 3 behind Sean, only 3 behind you. I'm not dead, not yet.
No. So
but this is a massive week for these two, for Sean and for Alan and for Ray and for Graham. These are big weeks. They need to win this week to get it to start closing those gaps over. And Graham's made the perfect start. He really has. He's on 53.58 points. He's playing against that Scheme Team, Alan. And this is a game that's been going since before Show Me the Money. Alan and Graham, they've been involved since before Show Me the Money. The good news is he's on 53 points. The bad news is he's got 4 players already played, and he got a -1 from his Commanders' defence. So it's not all dead for Alan yet. There is ways back.
Well, yeah, he's got the Ravens team. He's got the Lazards playing. Christian Kirk's back in the lineup. So he sort of had to, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got. Well, you can't play Kirk now.
He's dropped Pickens.
That's a big call. I think that's a big call. But Josh Reynolds is going to be hurt. Wicks doesn't do much, and Hurst is, you play Higbee over Hurst more often than not. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it's a good start for Graham. He's on 53 points, and you never say no to walking into the week at 53 points. Alan will need Jackson to kick off, and he'll need Diggs and Kirk to go well in this afternoon's game. That will be a big watch for.
Oh, that'll be a good one. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to watching that. Seeing him at work, I can actually watch a 2:30 game.
Yes, I will be watching too.
So, and then we've got the Eskimo Brothers.
So they're up against Mark's Copen Badley Jets this week, and Mark's off to a 15.5-point start, but it is with 2 players. It's with Curtis Samuel and Johan Watson.
Yeah.
So, I would say that's a good start for Sean, to be honest with you.
Oh, definitely. Well, like you say, Alan should have another. He's got Alan back in the team. Not surprising there. Like you say, Breeder will be starting, Mattis in the division. Yeah.
If you look,
Boyd.
If you look at what's happened there in terms of what they've got, I fancy Boyd with Higgins out and Woods to score more than 15.5 points.
Well, you notice whenever Chase goes out or Higgins goes out, Boyd always has a good game.
And that's who's opposite them. We all know Jimmy G's partial to interception or 2, so the Packers D might help him out there as well. I see he's leaving 2 on the bench for Joe Allen. Again, you have to.
Even though it's against the Giants, but you can't. Joe Allen,
But tough choices. But he does have the Browns D, Keenan Allen and Rashad White on bye week. So it's whilst Mark has Metcalf and the Bucks D just in bye week. So yeah, big game, big game for Sean. Not so big a game for Mark. Mark can afford to lose that one, but it's a huge game for Sean. Sean really needs to win that. And then we go on to
Levy and the didn't start very well. 4 points for Robinson in the first game on Thursday night. Yeah,
so that's a sore one for that is a sore one for Michael. Only getting that 4.3. for Brian Robinson. So, yeah, I mean, I would say Joe's going to be favourite after 4.3 for Robinson, but
That is Michael. You never. Oh, he's got Stroud in.
he's
So,
got
I suppose he has to be
Etienne on the
by.
bench. He's got Etienne on the bench. He's going to be raging with
Ooh.
that 4.3 for Robinson now when he's with Etienne on the bench. He's got Judy on the bench. He's got Smith on bye week.
And Hawkins on the bench.
And Joe's obviously got to play without St. Amon-Ra, but he's got Karif Raymond to slot in there. So, yeah, I mean, this is a proper 50-50. This will be a close one, I think.
Joe's going to have to get on and get Cup out of IR and get him on the team, but he's still got him in the reserves.
So he does, yes. So he does, and he can get him in and he can get him on.
That'd be a sore one if that cost him that, playing Raymond over Cup.
Well, it's not even playing Raymond over Cup. I'd be playing Cup over Beckham, to be honest with you. But again, I can understand you not wanting to play Cup this week. He's not touched a ball. He's not been training. He's not been anything. You don't know how fit he is. I understand not playing Cup this week if you have Cup and don't play him. The same as I'm trying my best not to play Taylor this week. But if Barkley's out, I might have to. But yeah, I think this game lives and dies on Trevor Lawrence at 2:30. If Lawrence goes really well, then I fancy Tartan Bears. If Lawrence doesn't, then I fancy Michael to get back on his winning horse.
And here we go. My one.
Here we go, Johnny.
I am actually projected to lose by 6 points.
Yeah, but that's a solid projection.
Well, I'm hoping Jimmy G has a fucking stinker, to be honest, and I get a chance. But I am playing against McCaffrey.
Yeah, but you're not going to find that out until I tell you you're going to be leading at the end of today, Johnny. That I'm pretty confident on.
I've still got Atwell in, but I'm not sure where to put him out for Osborne, to be honest. But
I think you can play. I mean, it's obviously that's one of those ones where you'll play T. Higgins if he plays, but he's not going to be playing. But you've ran into Ray in a very good week because he's got Watson, Cooper, Godwin, and Palmer and Myers all on bye week. So his whole entire bench is on bye week this week.
Yeah.
But he has got 3 players playing on Monday night, and you've got 1 player playing on Monday night. So this game will go the distance.
Well, indeed. But yeah, well, so if I don't have a lead at the start, I'm definitely not going to bloody winning. But
again, it's a bigger game for Ray than it is for you, Johnny. You know, you can afford to lose this one.
Yeah, but Ray, the way I see it is obviously Jimmy G he could be a bit erratic, but he's shown he does like throwing to Myers.
And yes, he does definitely. But Adams is still there, and Adams is number 1.
Yes.
But they're going to run the ball to death against us because we can't defend the run.
They will do, and Green Bay start slow, so it's not as if they're going to be playing catch up.
Indeed.
But I'm still going to sit up and watch it, but it should be an interesting game.
It'll be an interesting game for fantasy purposes because, as you said, there's a lot of games are going to go to Monday night because a lot of players a lot of teams have Packers players. Watson, Dubs, Jones, even Dillon's in a lot of teams. Love's in quite a few teams. And then on the other side of the ball, the Raiders don't do very well. But I'm hoping
the Lions gets help me win this week, like Seahawks did last week. So I had to pick up the Lions because Seahawks were on a bye. So I think the Lions against, but then obviously the Dolphins against the Giants.
Of all the ones you could have picked up, I think you've picked up probably the right ones.
Yeah, but the Dolphins against the Giants has got to be they're not. I hate to say it too early, but they're not as they have more of shootouts than they do close games.
They do. I don't fancy the Miami D much at all at the moment.
So I'm hoping to have a stinker. Just drop the ball up to Robinson 5-10 yards every time. Just let him get his yards up. That'll be fine.
That's it. But Johnny, that is the week that was, and the week that is coming up is a massive week this week. Teams are the 1-3s. The 1-3s, I would say, need a win. The 0-4s definitely need a win. They must win. The 1-3s could really, really do with winning this week to get their season going. The 3-1s have got a kind of a bye week in the sense of, a win is great, a loss isn't a disaster. And then there's me at 4-0. Hello, folks.
4-0 and a not bad start.
And not a bad start. So,
so you're playing against the Blue Toon Patriots, so like.
At the end of the day, if I can win this game, if I win this week, I'll fancy getting into the playoffs. I don't think there's much more to go to get into the playoffs.
I would have to go through the stats to see if a 5-0 has ever not made the playoffs. And I'm pretty sure that's not the case.
I would say that would be a no. And but then it's then as you know, it's any given Sunday at that point. I did lose to Sean in the first round last year, so yes, we'll see what happens. But week 5 is just 6 hours away now till 7 hours of commercial-free football.
But then it's in theory, it's actually only 2.5 hours away till the first game kicks off.
And we have the Bills and the Jaguars to go beforehand. So
I'm looking forward to that. I've got to do something. I've got to make sure I'm back in the house for that one, though.
A busy NFL week.
Joe, I know you're not watching, but you may want to consider maybe taking Cooper Cup out and playing him.
Yeah.
But
indeed.
But what are we to say? I did, yeah.
Listen,
I'm just a bit gutted that Ray actually paid attention and picked up a quarterback. I was hoping there'd be a Colonel and not play. But
well, he's done well there.
Yeah, I'll get a better, Ray. I'll give you that one. And you have actually beaten the last couple of years, so you've been a bit of a bogey. Should be Batman's bogeyman instead of boobies, like. But yes, but good luck everybody, apart from Ray.
Good luck everyone apart from Doug and Chris.
Oh yeah, Doug. Yeah, Doug. That was a sore one last week. Getting over 100 points and losing. Yeah, the fifth highest score.
Yeah,
lost.
Shame. My heart's bleeding.
I know. I could tell by the upside down frown in your face that you're really upset about that one.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, good luck everyone, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week, everyone. Cheers.